Overbooked and Busy, Part 2, in a different location.
We're shooting on location.
Yeah, we're shooting on location. This is episode 2.
Episode 2.
Of our show. Yes, we are in the same outfit because we just filmed our first episode 10 minutes ago.
But it got too dark outside.
It got very dark outside. So we are doing our second episode here in my family home. And this topic for this episode is books we're currently reading. So today's episode is going to be on Our Perfect Storm. And Amanda is going to tell us a little bit about what she thinks about the book so far.
Okay, so Our Perfect Storm is a romance book by Carly Fortune.
Yeah.
And romance is not really my genre, like I said before, so, but it's for book club, so I gave it a shot. It's actually pretty enjoyable. I'm doing the audiobook, and the narrators are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a story about a woman who is supposed to be getting married and doesn't, and about her childhood best friend that have been friends for, I don't know, decades and decades.
George and Frankie.
George and Frankie.
Francesca Gardner, to be exact. I find the name really interesting.
Yes. And so it's kind of her story after the not getting married and how that plays out with her family and her best friend and all those kinds of things. So, yeah.
So the book takes place before everything begins. So it's her wedding rehearsal dinner. The night before the wedding, she's stressed out because George has not arrived, and George is her best friend and her best man as well. And because he is not there, she feels empty without him because he has been with her for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes me sad for her, but also, is there something more? Which is really interesting. And obviously there is something more. That night proceeds along, and he finally does show up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all in love. Nate. I knew it started with N.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, he's an awful guy. We don't like Nate at this point. And he ends up writing her a letter in the middle of the night, and he leaves before she wakes up and says, "I'm not marrying you," and does not give a reason why. Who does that?
Nate, apparently.
So she ends up, the whole day was a blur for her.
Yes.
She truly did not know what to do, and her friend had to leave because George, after the wedding, had to go back, and he is a, traveler, and
he's a journalist.
Yeah.
And follows wildfires and other environmental things, so he travels all over the world. But he kind of helped her get through the day and get her and her stuff where it needed to be and home with her family.
Moved her items home. She lived in a place with him at that point, and so she didn't have a home to go back to, so she had to go back to her parents' home. And those feelings of going back to your parents' home after you've been gone is a whole different ballgame, especially when she was going to get married.
Mm-hmm.
So he helped her through that, which was really, really cool. And just the whole storyline of what transpires and how the story goes. We don't want to ruin everything for you. We will not give you all the spoilers. No. But it is their story to tell, and it is a super cool book, and I can't wait to tell you all more. The book that I'm also reading, that she is on the title page of, is The Divorce by Frida McFadden. And it is so good. Frida has such a way with words, and the beginning of this book, the way she talks as this person, truly has me wanting to befriend this woman. I'm scared to see what happens more towards the end if this lady is actually the one who killed all the people, because I don't know. I couldn't tell you. The beginning alludes to it, but you don't know with Frida. Mm-hmm. She's not going to give it away in the beginning.
Right. And that doesn't give it away because all of Frida's books are who kills all the people.
Exactly. So Frida's Divorce, really, really good. The aspect of the beginning, she is standing, I think, in the room with a bunch of dead bodies, and it's really intriguing to see how everything happens. And then the storyline changes, and you're okay, hold on, where did this what are you doing, Frida? We love this. She's also got her new book that just came out. The cover officially came out. We all knew that it was going to be called The Witch, but the sprayed edges, the cover itself, and this time I officially bought a signed copy, and I can't wait. It comes out.
Pre-ordered it.
I pre-ordered October of 26. It will be delivered to my house. It better be in pristine condition or I literally will cry. This author, Frida, just takes my breath away. I cannot wait to see and read this book. I'm really big on the audiobook for hers because I can get through them pretty quickly. I feel like with my Kindle, it takes me a little bit longer to get through them just because I don't have as much time to sit down and read. But we're working towards that. Bought it. I always carry it with me no matter what. I was standing in line at the library waiting for the Cat Cafe and started to read it yesterday. I did not have time because the line started moving and I was like, no, I wanted to read.
Yeah, but those 5-10 minutes here and there really add up pretty quickly.
They do. And I can get pretty far after a little while if I get to sit down long enough. But yeah, so that's the book that I've got on deck. I also like some of her others that you have read. Our favorite one of Frida's that we most recently have enjoyed is Never Lie. And it is a wild tale about this couple who is trying to buy a house, and they go to this house with like deep into the woods, like so far out there.
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere. Was it a snowstorm?
It's a snowstorm.
Yeah, a snowstorm. And the real estate agent was not there, and they got trapped because the weather was bad. And their story proceeds through so many different avenues of this home, and like there was a picture of this lady. They realized this was a famous author and psychotherapist. She also recorded her like sessions with the people and had them like in her home, and it was very interesting to see the dynamics of what this lady had looked like. I think they had reported her missing 3 years before that, I believe. What is it?
Yes, about 3 years before, had never found a body. It was the way the story went. And she, the tapes are actually hidden behind like a secret bookshelf situation in the house. And so when the character finds it, we won't tell you what book it was that makes it open, but I thought that was an interesting choice.
Yeah. So she finds this information and listens to it, and her fiance, I think it was fiance at the time.
No, they were married.
Oh, no, they were married? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Married and trying to figure out all of the things. And wasn't she pregnant?
Yes.
We find out after a
we
while.
do find
That's
out.
not a bad spoiler. It's a fun spoiler.
No, I mean, you sort of get that vibe pretty early on, but she doesn't say it for a while. I've actually, at first I read the physical book, which was very good. But then recently I listened to the audiobook, and the audiobook is so much better because of the sessions that are recorded, because you get to hear the sessions.
Oh, yeah.
With the psychotherapist and her patient voices in the session, so that's a really cool
I think that's
addition.
One of my favorite things about listening to an audiobook. There was a podcast that I listened to many years ago that kind of instilled my love for that. It was called Limetown, and it was basically these 273 people go missing in this town called Limetown, and nobody knows where they went. And it was their recordings, like different things that were recorded, and like this woman was trying to figure out what was going on. But the podcast was like you could hear the tea kettle that they were pouring in the show, and like they answered the phone, you could hear it ringing, like those types of things that you wouldn't normally hear. And it was kind of scary. It was a little creepy because like people went missing, and like there was a whole thing about pigs. Like it was wild, and like this guy had the same mind, like he could telecommunicate via his head with the pig, and like science-y stuff was going on. It was really insane. I'm not gonna lie. It's a great listen if you do want to listen to it, but it was definitely like, I'm terrified, and I also want to know what's gonna happen. Yeah. I didn't get to read or listen through it all because I ended up getting a little nervous. I was like, this is a little much. Yeah. But it's a good listen to, and it kind of, I would love to watch it as a movie too. I feel like it would really portray a lot more, and then just to see like where these people disappeared, because you kind of find out how they disappear as well, and like what happens in the long run. But it is cool because you get to like transport yourself into a different world. With audiobooks, you get a little bit more immersive in that. I do love when they communicate back and forth, just like in our Perfect Storm that we're reading right now. He talks and she talks, and he talks and she talks, and then they talk together. And when they talk together, it's my favorite thing. Because some audiobooks, the male will talk for the woman, and the woman will talk for the male if it's their chapter versus another chapter. I get it. It's a lot more to record separately, but hearing someone record a chapter and have a communication like us two talking together, she's conversing back with me as we're going. It's not just like, you know, oh, I love you, and then, I love you. Like, it's just awkward, you know? Like, you gotta hear it from that person. And it's, like, more fluid for me. And I feel like it's not discombobulated. But Our Perfect Storm is a definite good example of a lot of that.
Yeah. Another great audiobook is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. It's actually about a woman who has a podcast. And someone that she meets who ends up having kind of a crazy life story. And so she gets to know her, interviews her on her podcast. So it's a very cool audiobook just because of the podcast aspect of it. And probably my favorite audiobook in terms of, you know, how immersive it was, is My Husband's Wife, the Alice Feeney book that came out recently. I do like Alice Feeney. She writes some really twisty stuff. But that audiobook, in the first chapter, the main character is running by the ocean. And you can hear her footsteps on the ground. You can hear the waves. You can hear her breath. You can hear, you know, it's very immersive. And so I really enjoy a good audiobook.
And what she's doing right now is not telling me the rest of it because she knows I'm going to read it.
As you should. As you all should. It's very, very good.
It's enough to get me wrapped. It was actually on my list. I borrowed it from her, and I cannot wait to read it again. I add a lot to my TBR. My TBR is through the roof. Currently reading, as I said before, The Crash, Frida's The Divorce, Our Perfect Storm. What is the other one called? The One That Got Away by Mike Gale. And then Matt's books, our friend Matt Walker, his Mercy's Crown, The Noise, and then the one she is reading, The Pot and the Kettle.
Yeah, it's called Pot and Kettle. So he has some short stories that he's released on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited that are sort of kind of a dark play on some Disney characters. And so the one I'm reading, Pot and Kettle.
I will bring it closer.
And
drop it.
Pot
and Kettle by Matt Walker.
It's kind of a take on Hansel and Gretel.
Yes.
So, but he has a few others out.
I have those here. So the first one in this little series is Forever You're Never, and then the other one is Splendid Youth. All of these ones that Matt has are more of that we are mentioning so far. Is very much so a play on Disney characters, like
a
reimagination of each of these characters. So Hansel and Gretel, Splendid Youth, Pinocchio, and then Forever You're Never is the
Peter Pan,
which is really sweet. It's like the whole idea of Peter and Wendy. Then his other books that we have on deck for him is The Noise, and
stories, and they're very kind of creepy and atmospheric, and
didn't do it.
You know, kind of all the things that go on in your head when you're alone and it's quiet. And all the noise, quiet noise.
The noises that you don't necessarily think are a noise. That's The Noise by Matt Walker. Oh, look how fun it looks in the middle.
It does.
And then the other one by him, which she's going to explain while I pull it up, is Mercy's Crown.
So Mercy's Crown is his novel. So all of his other writings are short stories. But Mercy's Crown is his novel, and it's about this person who is lost in these catacombs under this church on Christmas Eve, and trying to find their way out, and just different things that happen and along the way. Are there things there? Are there not? Are there other people there, or are there not?
Do you hear something you do hear? Is it there, or is it not there?
Yeah, so it's pretty creepy in that regard, but a little bit different because it's a novel, not a short story. But very enjoyable. I've already finished it.
I'm working on it.
Waiting very impatiently for Tori to finish it so that we can talk about it. So, but yeah, it's good. Everything on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited, and Joseph Beth booksellers.
Yes, he has his books in Joseph Beth in Cincinnati and in Lexington. right?
They're in Lexington now. I think they're going to be in Cincinnati in August, maybe.
He has his books at Carmichael's in Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's another bookstore in Indiana, but honestly, I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah, there's one in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
But we're trying to get his books out there. We're trying to recommend him as much as we can because he is an amazing author. And the way that he writes, he truly has a lot of amazing things to say. Mm-hmm. And, like, he has a depth behind what he has written, and it is so powerful. So we definitely recommend it, for sure.
Very emotional.
Gosh, so emotional.
Yeah.
He puts his heart on in the words that he's writing. So
absolutely. And we have some other published author friends that we will speak about in later episodes.
Yes. Right now we're just going to feature him real quick because we get to decide. Right. And our next episode we'll talk a little bit more about our other favorite authors, people that are our dear friends who have written amazing things, to poetry, to just, you know, all the stories in between. I love the idea of that. And maybe we'll share our little stories that we create over the time. I might share my short story eventually.
Yeah. We have a friend who writes plays too.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get to feature her and her crew at some point.
And then we have some friends in theater who would love to come stop by and talk about books and maybe even talk about the theater a little bit, because there are plays that include things about books and theater, and we want those things to be a part of our little community because community is important.
Yeah. And theater is, it's story on stage.
Yes.
So.
Thank you for joining Overbooked and Busy.
Bye.
Bye.